how to get more of what you do want in life and less of what you don't want. Stay tuned. This is Damon from NLP Gym. Feedback, feed forward. This NLP mind hack can help you move closer to what you do want and further away from what you don't want. If you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. Ever been engaging in some sort of behavior or activity and suddenly you feel bad and you don't even know why? Or maybe you do know why. Maybe you realize you've violated your morals, your ethics, or your values. So what is this about? What happens? Through life experience, we have reference experiences. We create what we call a feedback system. And this is mainly developed quite well in childhood because we're constantly being disciplined by parents, by authority figures, by our school, by our society, when we do something wrong and we don't align with the values or the ethics or morals of the system that we're in. And when I say system, I'm referring to, that could be your family system, your societal system, the school system, whatever system you're in. When we get reprimanded, we are taught to reflect on what we did and don't do it again. Well, what happens is we create this feedback system. We start engaging in a certain behavior and suddenly we go, oh no, that's not what we're supposed to do. Or we're thinking of engaging in a certain type of behavior and something gets triggered and we say, I'm not supposed to do that. It usually comes in as a feeling. That is the trained in feedback system that says doing that behavior misaligns with the values, the ethics, or the morals, so don't do it. And then it's interesting how it comes up as a feeling. Unfortunately, this doesn't work very well moving into the future and getting what you want. It's very good at helping you avoid what you don't want. It's very good at helping you stay in line, so to speak. And we do this with ourselves because we sort of parent ourselves. We have our own values, our own morals, our own ethics that are independent of the system that we're in or whatever. It could be a work system, your career, whatever you're in. You just may be who you are. You have certain values. And when you violate one of those values, or you violate one of your own morals, you feel bad. Well, we feel bad because we have a commitment to that value. We have a commitment to those morals, and when we don't act in alignment with them, we naturally don't feel good about that. And that's a good thing. We need a feedback system. What we also need is a good feed-forward system, and unfortunately, we don't usually cultivate and develop one of these very well. And you can see this in everyday media and society. People are more motivated by fear most of the time than motivated by incentive and positive action or rewards. They're more motivated by what they don't want. A good feed-forward system is when you're acting in alignment with your morals, your ethics, and your values, it feels good. And so you continue to act in that way, and the more you act in that way, in alignment with your values, morals, and ethics, the better it feels. And it creates this feedback, or rather feed-forward loop of feeling good and acting and moving in that direction. Unfortunately, a lot of us, we're okay with being somewhere in the middle, where we're okay with not advancing so much and feeling so good, but we're really concerned about feeling bad. We don't want to feel bad. And it's because we haven't cultivated a really good feed-forward system. Now, one of the things that we can teach our kids, whether you're a teacher or a parent, and you can go back and retrain yourself for this, is a lot of times when we reprimand kids, or we were reprimanded when we were kids, we weren't taught a feed-forward system. We weren't taught, well, okay, we know the behavior we're not supposed to do, but what is the behavior that we should do? And what are 3 possible options for that? Likely options that I will actually act on. So this is great with kids when you have to reprimand them and say, okay, this is what you did, this is what was wrong, this is what not to do again, and then ask the kid to use their creativity to create 3 new possible options of ways of being, behaving, acting that would fulfill the values and the morals that got violated. So we can do this in ourselves, especially when we do something, we get that feeling, we go, oh no, this is not good, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or we think about doing something, we go, oh no, that doesn't align with my values. Instead of just doing nothing, we can then decide, okay, well, what are those values necessarily? Let's think about what those are, what are those morals, and how can I act? What are 3 possible options of ways that I can act and behave that would align with those values and actually fulfill those values. And it's important to have three possible options, because one option is not really an option. It's not really a choice. Two is really a dilemma. It's still not much of a choice. Three gives you real choice and possibility. And you can do more than that. You don't have to stop at three. I'm just saying at least three. So give yourself three possible options of how you want to be in the world. So when you think about what you're not supposed to do, and most of us do focus on this. We're always focusing on, oh, well, I better not do that, or I better avoid that, or I don't want to feel that way, so I want to avoid doing all that. And what happens is our mind is really focused on the feedback system. We're really focused on what we don't want, what we're trying to avoid. And this often has the reaction of creating more of what we don't want, because we're constantly trying to avoid what we don't want. And that's where our focus goes. And moving into the future, moving into new situations, we are living in a mindset of avoidance rather than moving toward what it is that we want. So we need to cultivate this good feed-forward system. So I can chunk things down in my life into different areas, different major life contexts, like my career, my family, my home life, my hobbies, my friends, my social group. What are my values in each one of these situations? And what are three possible ways that I could act, behave, or engage that fulfills these values? Rather than constantly thinking, oh, at work I shouldn't do this or I shouldn't do that, or with my friends I shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that. Well, what should you do? What are your values there that can guide your behavior? And when you rehearse those in your mind, or when you think about those options and those possibilities and those choices, you are going to move in that direction naturally. You're going to find yourself creating more of what you want in life rather than what you don't want. If you find yourself in one of those situations where you're feeling bad and you're not sure why, or maybe you do know why, you violated one of your values, or you violated one of your morals or ethics, take a moment, stop what you're doing, take a moment to think about that, learn the lesson that's there. There's a lesson to be learned there, so don't skip over that part and suddenly shift into positive thinking. We want to learn whatever that lesson was so we don't repeat the mistake. And then start thinking, okay, well, how do I want to act? Rather than the way that I know I don't want to act, how do I want to act? Who do I want to be in this situation? And that will elicit your values. And once you know what those values are, then what behavior or what activity or what could you do in that situation that will fulfill that value in that context and create a feed-forward system for the future, so that as you go into the future, into this situation, you are going to act and behave and be the person who you want to be, rather than the person you don't want to be, and behaving and acting in ways that you don't want or that you want to avoid. Give this a try. It'll change your life. Check out my website, nlp-gym.com. Follow me on Facebook for real-time updates on upcoming workshops and free practice sessions that I hold in Santa Cruz, California. If you like this video, please click like right down here and leave me a comment or a question. I will follow up with you. Stay tuned to the end of this video so you can see how you can get your hands on a free NLP online training. Take care. How do I want to behave, and what are three possible... Seriously? That fulfill those... I'm trying to shoot a video! Stop!